Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we uncover the real story behind company filings. And today we've got something from Grace Therapeutics that sounds like a pretty straightforward shareholder meeting, but sometimes the most important information is hidden in plain sight, like a quiet endorsement or a subtle vote of confidence. Grace Therapeutics held their annual meeting of stockholders on September 12, 2025. And while it might not be a blockbuster financial report, it gives us a peek into how the company is being run and what shareholders think. So on September 12, 2025, Grace Therapeutics had their big annual meeting. Think of it as a yearly check-in with everyone who owns a piece of the company. This meeting is where shareholders get to vote on important matters like who will be on the board of directors and whether to approve the company's executive pay. It's all about making sure the people running the company are doing a good job and are aligned with what the owners want. Grace Therapeutics is listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker JCE. So if you're invested in them, you'll see their performance traded on this major stock exchange. Let's dive into what actually happened at this meeting. A significant number of shares, 7926945 to be exact, were present or voted by proxy. This represents over 57% of the company's total outstanding shares. That's a pretty strong turnout and shows that shareholders are engaged and paying attention to what's happening at Grace Therapeutics. It also means the decisions made at this meeting carry a lot of weight. The first big item on the agenda was the election of directors. These are the folks who guide the company's strategy and oversee its operations. Here we see the results for the director nominees. For example, Vimal Kavaru, along with other nominees like A. Brian Davis, Prashant Kolias, George Cotter-Yeel, and Edward Nugaboran received a substantial number of votes for. Let's look at Vimal Kavaru as an example. He received 629427 over knee, 47040, 1/4 a mere 3495 happened when a broker has shares in street name for a customer but doesn't have instructions how to vote, so they can't vote. So even with those potential unknowns, the overwhelming majority of actual votes were in favor. The same pattern holds true for all the other director nominees. This is a clear sign of confidence from the shareholders in the current board leadership. They're basically saying keep up the good work to these individuals who are steering the ship to next up was a vote on executive compensation. This is often called a say-on-pay vote. The shareholders voted on approving the compensation for the company's top executives. The results here show 670,757 votes in favour, 75,696 abstentions, the rest being broker non-votes. So, while there were some no votes and abstentions, the vast majority of shareholders approved the compensation package. This suggests that the shareholders generally agree with the way the company's executives are being paid in relation to their performance. It's a nod of approval for the current compensation structure. The final major item was to ratify the appointment of the company's independent auditor. This is crucial for ensuring the company's financial statements are accurate and reliable. They voted to ratify KPMG LL in their independent registered public accounting firm. The numbers here are quite striking. 7797832 votes for, a mere 12,797,832 votes for, a mere 1270,448 against, and only 1865 abstentions. Importantly, there were 0 broker non-votes recorded for this proposal. This overwhelming approval indicates strong shareholder confidence in KPMG's role in overseeing the company's financial integrity. It's basically a stamp of approval on the auditors and by extension on the accuracy of the company's financial integrity. It's basically a stamp of approval on the auditors and by extension on the accuracy of the company's financial integrity. It's basically a stamp of approval on the auditors and by extension on the accuracy of the company's financial integrity. It's basically a stamp of approval on the auditors and by extension on the accuracy of the company's financial integrity. It's basically a stamp of approval on the auditors and by extension. And finally, confirming all this, the report is signed off by Prashant Kohli, who is the Chief Executive Officer. This signature is like the company's official seal of approval on these reported results. Now, looking at these results from Grace Therapeutics, what does it all mean? The high turnout and the overwhelming votes for director elections and auditor ratification signal a company that's on solid ground with its shareholders. There's a clear alignment between the board and its owners. The say-on-pay result, while not unanimous, was strongly positive, suggesting that shareholders for the most part feel the executive compensation is justified. In essence, this meeting shows a company that's being run with clarity and shareholder approval. The main takeaway is that the shareholders are comfortable with the current leadership and the oversight of the company's finances. There don't seem to be any major red flags or shareholder dissent that would indicate serious underlying issues at this point. What's your take on these results? Do you think this means Grace Therapeutics is set for great things, or are there other factors we should be watching? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more decoding of these important corporate documents. We also have a great community over on Discord, so be sure to join that. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Corporate Decoder.